So we've talked about the architecture of the website, and we've talked about some of the basics of SQL injection. I've actually gone through a little bit of manual testing. Now, you may be running various tools against your web architecture, so you've perhaps gotten some indication that SQL injection is possible based on the automated tests that you've been running. Now, this is where manual testing comes into play, and you may have to do a lot of playing around with the query that you actually did with the automated testing that may have gotten you some results that led you to believe that there's some possibility there. Now, you need to understand SQL a little bit, and you could do something like going to MySQL documentation and understanding what queries actually look like and how you would interact with them. You may need something like a SQL injection cheat sheet just to give you some pointers on where to actually start your playing. So there are various cheat sheets that are out there that may help you with the manual testing that you need to do. So here's some examples of things that you could do, and of course it tells you the database that is supported as well here. So here's some things that may be helpful. One thing that we didn't actually do was we didn't actually do things like trying to break out of it with comments, and sometimes you can do a comment like this and you can break out of what's there or just comment off what's behind it. So there are a number of things that you can do in order to further your exploration into a potential SQL injection attack. And as I said, here are some different types of things that you may be able to do. But it really comes down to a lot of persistence and playing around with the site just to see whether you can get through it or not. Now, one of the nice things that this particular site has is it's got some places where you can do encoding. And of course, we've talked about other plugins for Firefox that will do similar sorts of things. But you may need to, for example, ASCII encode your injection. So I may need to do something like this, for example. And let's just do the simple one. So I want to ASCII encode that. Now here's the ASCII encoding for it. Now I could go back here and plug this in and see whether that actually got me anywhere. And in this case it doesn't. But that's how you would ASCII encode a SQL injection. But sometimes it really just takes understanding the different types of attacks that you may be able to perform and just chugging through them and trying different variations and being persistent and sometimes a little creative to try some different things. And that's really where you're going to find success with doing this type of testing, is just chugging through until you actually hit on something that works.